the league, championship, West A championship, we knew we had to play our best, but the vibe was good in training for the last 2 or 3 weeks when we got the fixture, and thankfully we done it anyway. So yeah,
a good start, although Westport did erode it eventually, but it gave you a cushion, it gave you something to believe in.
Yeah, look, we thought we might get an early goal, and I say Carramore now when they got the goal inside 30 seconds, but thankfully we went on and just we settled the nerves, as Gary said, from Laherdon got the goal, it just settled the nerves when Shane Foy got the goal. So luckily, thankfully we got through it.
Yeah, why are these team champions? Why is this team county champions? What makes them apart?
I think defeated throughout the year, like, so one right place, and thankfully we peaked at right time anyways. So
what kind of welcome home did you get in Ball?
Oh
I saw school tweeting out your name today anyway. You're back in action there today, were you?
Back in action today, yeah, national school now tomorrow, so yes.
You're doing the cup to the national school tomorrow, yeah? Where are you going?
I think we're going to the parish, so Belcara and Manola, so show the young ones anyways the achievements, so that I look forward to.
Okay, wonderful. Jack, we spoke to you in a slightly different environment the exact same place, but a different, more excited environment on Sunday.
Yeah.
You've had a chance to reflect on it. What are your feelings now?
Oh, I don't know, I'm just delighted we got through it, really. Haven't really sunk in yet that we've won after watching the video I don't know how many times. Still can't get over that we're county champions, like.
Yeah, your display throughout the game though was probably marginally better than Westport's, I'd say, it's fair to say.
It was, yeah, we put up a good fight, like didn't get off to the greatest starts, but was holding them scoreless for 20 minutes into this first half. I suppose we pushed on then, we knew we could do it. Just kept going.
What does this mean for Ball football? What can it do for the future?
Oh, I don't know, sky's the limit really. Gives great potential coming up now next year into the senior squad, push through junior, and intermediate then. Sure.
I have a ringing phone I need to give to somebody. 1 second, I'll give that to Jimmy Lyons there, our match analyst. He'll pass it on down the line. That's important because that's our tech breakdown line as well too. So we're multitasking here. You think this can be a huge thing, but Ball were disappointed. I know you were involved in the juniors this year.
Very disappointed now, but sure, look. We're just going to
You wouldn't have beaten Laherdon anyway, would you?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not too sure about that one.
Okay, Gary, finally to you then. Anybody you'd like to remember, anybody in Laherdon who has flown the flag over the years?
Yeah, to see Paddy Joe Garrett here the last his son Pádraig played on the 85 team in the final, died at 19 years of age back in 87. It was a special day for him, he really was. He thought he'd never see us lifted, so him in particular now, and of course all the past footballers that fought the cause for the lifetime of the club, and just it didn't happen for them, so it's for the club, it's for everyone,
Will you release John Mahan from captivity for next year, or are you going to keep him for a few years?
I think we're going to chain him up down in Laherdon. He's a special one, so I think we'll try and hold on to him. Sure, you never know. Hopefully.
Okay. Well done, and well done to Sean Burke and Conor Welch. And the rest of your management team was?
John Conway. Okay. Yeah.
And just Gary to name check as well, John Mahan was joined by
Eamon Rowland and Darren Leonard. So big thanks to them boys as well.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me. You can give one show the cups to the. We'll bring it back actually now. Bring the camera back on you. There it is. They're the first two big cups decided this autumn in Mayo. The minor football championship on my left going to Ball with Podge McLaughlin and Jack Hart here, and the junior championship which has gone to Brafey in the safe hands of Gary Naughton. Lads, thank you very much for joining us and enjoy tonight's encounter. Hollymount-Carramore are out in the field as you can see, and we will have Balintober out in a few moments. So thank you, lads. I'm going to be joined now by Jimmy Lyons, our match analyst, and Jimmy has already I'm going to put you sitting there, Jimmy. Maybe I think that seated position works pretty well. He's already given his views on Facebook Live, but in case you haven't got those, Jimmy, you felt last Saturday was a game sort of unburdened in some ways, a free-flowing game, both teams playing football going forward rather than laterally.
Yeah, it was unusual for a game on which there was so much hanging that both teams really went for it. They played very positive football. It was all go forward football. There was very little lateral passing, slow play around middle of the field. Most of the scores were got from either kickouts or turnovers at the in defence, 3 or 4 passes, and some excellent shooting. There weren't that many wides. I think Hollymount-Carramore had 7, Balintober had 5. So that reflects the closeness of the game as well. Whether it'll be like that tonight now, it's another question altogether, because they'll have found, even though they know each other very well because they've played so much over the last couple of years. They played championship last year, they've played in the league, and there's never been more than a point or two between them, so they know each other very well anyway. But by virtue of this game being only 4 days after the last one, it will add that bit more. It'll add that much more tension.
More spice to it, really. Isn't it?
Well, a bit of spice, yeah, but also a little bit of nervousness and tenseness. They'll have poured over the videos since the last day. They'll have seen where they can improve in terms of neutralising the opposition and in terms of improving their own play. But certainly from Balintober's point of view, they will look to see, can they stop Darren Cohen, Kevin Feary and Conor Kane getting the same sort of attitude as they did last Saturday.
Okay, Jimmy, I'm going to hand over to Tom Carney, who's going to co-present with me here tonight. So Tom is going to stay with Jimmy and pour over the coals of last Saturday first of all, but also look forward to tonight. We're still Balintober out in the field now, so both teams ready for battle. Tom.
Thank you, Liam. And Jimmy, it should be an entertaining game this evening. That the last game now was nail-biting stuff in. Hollymount-Carramore clearly had a system set up, obviously, to try and stifle it, but nearly, when we checked, almost all the Balintober starting forwards scored, which is a testament to their forwards. What we'd have to make sure is that Hollymount keep it tight for the first 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, well, what they don't want is for Balintober to get away from them, which almost happened the last year. You thought it was going to happen because they got 5 points ahead, but Hollymount-Carramore then started to get a foothold around the middle of the field around that period, 10 minutes into the second half, and they showed what they're capable of. And they sowed a bit of panic in the Balintober ranks.
As we can see already out from Elverys MacHale Park, looks very well for the weather that was had today. There was a lot of rain made overnight, and I know they worry about the conditions being greasy underfoot, but looking at the teams going through their warm-ups there, the players should find the conditions ideal for football.
Yeah, it looked earlier, about half an hour ago, a little bit of a mist started to set in, but that has passed. There's a small bit of a breeze blowing towards the bacon factory end, as we used to call it. It's not there anymore, but so conditions look more or less perfect. What could be a factor this evening in one sense would be fatigue. It's only 4 days after the last match, but I suppose it's the same for both teams, so it shouldn't be that much of a factor. It will be a factor for the team that comes out tonight and has to face another game next Sunday, of course, but that's a question for another day.
There's less thinking involved as well for teams that are playing, say, with only a 2 or 3 day gap. They can't overthink it. They can be. The players obviously might have had a light session, say Monday or Tuesday. Obviously had a team meeting about the game earlier today, and so there's less complication, say, to a week-long build-up to a game.
Exactly. There shouldn't be any tension or nervousness. Not that there appeared to be any last Saturday either, but yeah, it's kind of an ideal situation in a way. Lads just love to play football, and as we saw from Mayo's progress through the summer, the more games you play, the better you get, and you should. In one sense, we should see even better football tonight. But I think that will be negated by the fact that they do know each other so well. They'll have looked over the videos. They'll have examined how they can try to stop the other side from being as prolific as they were the last day.
Joining us also in the co-commentary
off them too much. Sorry, now for a moment there. Yeah. Start off them maybe a little bit too much. Now you cannot complain at one sense with the effort that we're putting a huge effort, admittedly, and some of the scores the Carramore kicked were unbelievable scores. So whether we can play as good again, that's debatable. Like a lot of our lads played out of their skin the last night, but we need a few more guys to really step it up in the middle. That's the main thing.
We were speaking there to Jimmy Lyons just a moment ago, and we were saying that the short turnaround in will probably suit maybe Hollymount more than say Balintober. Nothing to overthink. Stick to the same game plan and don't overcomplicate it.
I suppose given the short turnaround time, trying to think too much in games like this for only 4 days, it's not like you can't go changing tactics or changing anything. There may be just one or two things you might want to change. I suppose, Jimmy, our team are probably that lighter looking and probably get across the ground more. But having said that, today, 4 days turnaround, you'd want to be kicking the ball today. You wouldn't want to run it all through the hands, because another 70 minutes of that, the legs will be really running weird towards the end. As Jackie said, look, this game, I can't see a whole load of change from the last day. Balintober probably had all the first half, a lot of it. Second half, we looked dead and buried with 10 minutes gone. Then we turned it on, got 5 points. In the end, we probably could nearly have clinched it with that last kick from Conor Kane, with one of the Balintober lads got their hand to it. And a fair result the last day was a draw if you look at both sides of the game. And both teams have to go it all again. It's going to be nip and tuck. There isn't going to be a lot of it, as we said. We'd be surprised coming in at half time if there's a point or two again.
From what you've heard, are there any changes on the Hollymount-Carramore team?
No, not at the scene. Maybe we're looking at one or two options. As I said, the difficulty about these games is there might be an odd lad who might come in with this game with a bit of injury, and he's after playing 70 minutes the last day, and expecting to go again might be a bit of a task. And the lads obviously came off with injuries to go out. They mightn't start, they might come on. We have one extra guy back that had been playing all year, Dermot Costello. He wasn't around for the last day. He's probably, I would say, he'd be on the bench, but you'll see him getting action, I'd say, some tonight, because he's fresh, he's a good ball player, he can play cornerback, wing forward, anywhere around the middle. So he's one extra guy we have in the mix for tonight. So I'll see him being and getting game time anyway.
And for Balintober, we hear there might be one or two changes.
Well, that's kind of new to me, because I've been told a few moments ago that it's going to be pretty much the same as the last night. The programme, all right, that we're given the last day, that might change, all right, but that the team as Jim O'Connor is in, he's not on the actual programme, but Jim is in, which he was in from the beginning the last night. Carl Hanlon has a bit of a twitch at full back. He didn't play the last night neither, and my understanding is that he's not available tonight neither, unless we actually really need him. So that's my understanding, unless something is pulled at the last moment. Keeping a big secret, maybe.
Keeping it the rest. The prize that's on offer for both these teams should focus their minds. We're just coming up to a minute to throw in. As Jimmy Lyons mentioned a moment ago, there's a slight breeze blowing as we look at it from left to right on your screens to the old bacon factory end from the Balintober town end goal. It's a nice evening. The rain has slipped off that was around, and the pitch looks in great condition considering the amount of game that's on it. And we pause now for Aaron Naveen. We'll quickly run through the teams for you. Balintober in goal is Brendan Walsh. The full back line is Gary Loftus, Miles Kelly and Brian Murphy. The half back line is Diarmuid O'Connor, Michael Plunkett, Damien Coleman. Midfield, it's the same pairing as Sunday, Jason Gibbons and Danny Geraghty. The half forward line is number 30, Pádraig O'Connor, Alan Plunkett and Alan Dillon. And the full forward line for Balintober is Conor Finnerty, Killian O'Connor and Ray Geraghty. For Hollymount-Carramore, there's a switch in midfield, but they line up as follows: Niall Campbell in goal, Brian Maloney, Francis Conroy, Niall Walsh, Barry Sheridan, Robert Benoit, Pádraig Feerick. We have Clifford Connolly wearing 19 with Stephen Cohen in midfield, Kevin Feerick, Kevin Costello and Nathan Moran. And in the full forward line you have Captain Darren Cohen, Conor Kane and Enda Maloney. Robert Malloy is in for the throw in as we get underway at Elverys MacHale Park in the Treanlaur Catering replay of the quarter-final of the Senior Championship this year in Hollymount-Carramore. Robert Malloy wins that ball, but it's touched on the ground. The referees calls it, so it's going to be a free to Balintober. Jason Gibbons with the ball in hand, and he's opting to go long and diagonal towards Conor Finnerty, who gets it at the second attempt. He has a quick turn inside and he has a free man left and right, but he's going to come into his left foot, and that's first blood to Balintober, and a good start, lively from Balintober.
A great start actually. We don't look at maybe able to pick up there, but Conor Finnerty, he needs that type of thing for his confidence. That should give him a good boost.
1 point to no score, just a minute gone here at MacHale Park. Hollymount going short, and Niall Campbell gives it to Niall Walsh, and being pressed very highly there by Alan Plunkett. Has to go back to his goalkeeper, and he tries to find Malloy, who's pressed by Jason Gibbons, who forces the ball over the sideline, but it's going to be a sideline ball to Hollymount-Carramore. As we said, it's a nice evening here in Castlebar. It's a bit cold. There's a few woolly hats on just to protect keep the body heat in, but it's as we said, the pitch is in great condition given the amount of games that it's had in the last few weeks. Hollymount back to goalkeeper Niall Campbell. Hollymount just trying to get out of their own half as the game is in its very early stages, and carrying the ball into midfield is a great ball from Nathan Moran, but it's blocked back and it's spilled, but get it back into hand, and they're looking to build from the front again. Stephen Cohen gives it quickly inside towards Darren Cohen, gets it back, and they're trying to work to the angle to Robert Malloy, but that's well covered back by Ray Garrity, and it's Hollymount who turn over possession, and Diarmuid O'Connor plays it up the line towards Plunkett, but the referee says that's off the ground as well, so it's two early calls for the ball off the ground. The man in the middle being Liam Devaney, and he deems it as a free, and the game is way underway. There's a spare Hollymount-Carramore player at the back post. It looks like Darren coming to meet it now is Darren, but he can't get it back into his hand, and they turn inside. It's Clifford Connolly actually inside who's looking to get the ball, but it's couldn't be held, so Balintober with Jason Gibbons come up in front of the stand here at MacHale Park. A nice crowd in for this replay this evening, and that's dealt with very well by Robin Malloy, gone back to his accustomed position at number 6, and Hollymount are building with Barry Sherlin, delivered a high diagonal ball, and that's going to be well kept in by Clifford Connolly as he switches the play from left to right, trying to find Darren Cohen, but unfortunately couldn't keep hold of it, and Diarmuid Connolly can bring Balintober out from the back. Daniel Coleman, Jason Gibbons, back to the willing runner of Michael Plunkett, who's marauding forward as well from Sunday, and Alan Dillon, who had an early influence on the game as a playmaker. Pádraig Fearrick again is his shadow, not too far away from last Sunday, and Killian O'Connor is in his early touches for the Balintober players. Garrity, it's a 50-50 ball which Plunkett won't thank him for, but he does get out in front and he does win the ball. It's a free off Miles Kelly. Alan Dillon plays it quickly. Killian O'Connor to Alan Dillon, trying to work another opening here. Alan Dillon, he has a player in the pocket ready for the shot, but Ray Garrity couldn't get a shot off. It comes back to Alan Dillon, and he looks inside for Alan Plunkett, and he comes back inside onto his left foot, goes around the houses onto his right, taps that, and that's over the bar, and that's a patient build up by Balintober trying to find the best opening, and good score there for Alan Plunkett.
Great patience by Alan Dillon, just took that extra little hop, waited for the chance to arrive, and sure enough into the right man, Plunkett, in the right spot.
Balintober are pressing very high there, trying to force Niall Campbell to go along, which he does do, and Nathan Moran, County minor, gets away from his marker, and chasing back is Jason Gibbons, and he draws the foul, and Nathan's down holding, seems to have took a bit of a knock. Jason Gibbons covered the ground well there, but it was not entirely sure what happened to Nathan. They're looking might be a slightly high challenge.
Yeah, I think he came down right on top of him as Nathan was trying to get away. There was no way he was going in further in and goal. Jason came right down top of his shoulder, I think, so he was put down a marker. You're going to travel 30 yards, but you're not going to get another 10 yards.
So it'll be an early opportunity for Darren Cohen to get on the scoreboard, so effective last Sunday for Hollymount. Just coming up to 5 minutes gone in the first half. 2 points to Balintober. Darren Cohen with this opportunity to half that deficit, and he does a good tap over for Hollymount in the opening score for them, and they've settled well since the 2 early scores.
Yeah, we just you need to keep tagging on. You can't let Balintober get 5 or 6 points up because you're chasing them and again.
Ball goes long from Brendan Walsh, and it's a mark taken by Clifford Connolly, and he delivers it quickly into Conor Kane. Bit of a high solo there from Conor, but he gets it back. He tries a quick ball inside and trying to get the opportunity for there. It's right footed, but it's mishit, and Enda Maloney was on the ground and he's trying to win the ball back, but coming away with it is Brian Murphy, but Maloney stuck his foot in and it's going to be a free out. Good possible goal opportunity there. Great ball in.
Yeah, great ball in. That was a great goal opportunity. If he could actually have just gotten around him, and the defender, in fairness, he stood him up. He said, "Come on, come past me." I think Clifford slipped in the last minute.
Balintober dicing a bit here with their Hollymount doing what Balintober were doing to them, is just pressing the backside, trying to force a turnover, but Balintober are able to build from the back, and the outlet is Killian O'Connor, and he pops it round the corner trying to work an angle, and it's Dermot O'Connor looking to get a return, but Conor Finnerty is determined to take on Francis Conroy. Gets up to the end line. Porrick Fury checking back, leaves Alan Dillon in a bit of space, and Alan Dillon is going to have a go, and if you give him that much space, that's what he's going to do.
Great stuff, Alan Dillon again. Jeremy O'Connor coming up from the half back line, just giving support. Well won inside by Conor Finnerty though. Just all about retaining the ball. Don't be rushing it. Just take your time.
Hollymount short again. Niall Campbell looking for options. He's 30 metres from goal. If he's not careful, could get himself into a bit of trouble, but Niall Walsh comes to his rescue and he's being pressed by Porrick O'Connor in the right half back position, and they go all the way back to Niall Walsh, who has Francis Conroy available on the just off his shoulder, and Hollymount slow patient build up again, looking for the best option, but it was a 50-50 ball at best, and he managed to come away with it. So it's a quick ball delivered inside, can't be kept, and bending his back is Brian Murphy, and he wins the ball well and offloads to Dermot O'Connor. Dermot has going to have 2 players for company, but there's a great break being made by Brian Maloney. Gives it back to Dermot O'Connor. Dermot is going to give him go with his brother, and he's kept his run going, and he's getting into the large square, and he fists that over the bar. A move that was started by Dermot O'Connor back here in his own half back line. Exchanged 3 passes and worked the score well.
That's Dermot that we used to know of old. This last couple of months his injury levels have been poor, but so far tonight, yeah, he's like a Dermot of old again.
Hollymount won't let to get this deficit, as you say, get too far ahead. 3 points now in the opening 7-8 minutes of this game.
Yeah, it's a bit like a repeat of last week, where we're chasing the game of 3 or 4 or 5 points down.
The referee says Niall Campbell took too long with that kick out, so it's going to be a hot ball on the 21. As we said, both teams pressing high on kickouts, as kickouts as the modern game has evolved have become almost like a major tactic in every game that you see. Even at underage, there seems to be some sort of tactic for kickouts, and in this instance it's going to be a hot ball, as we said, Liam Devaney, the referee, says Niall Campbell took too long.
Sometimes all these tactics go out the window in one poor kick.
Ball claimed by Jason Gibbons, and he gets away from more, gives it to Killian O'Connor. Killian O'Connor to Conor Finnerty, who releases Dermot O'Connor again, who's under severe pressure from the Hollymount backs, and the Hollymount managed to turn over the ball, and that's a good bit of defending in numbers there from Hollymount. And you think that's what they're going to have to do if players get into scoring chances?
With the likes of Dermot and Killian there, you got to surround them there with the ball. The referee is inclined to let contact go. You got to get rid of it.
Nathan Moran took a big hit there, and the possession is turned over. The ball spills here to Alan Dillon, and he's caught slightly there by Kevin Costello. The referee says it's going to be a free, and you can be sure that Killian O'Connor is going to take this free. There was a runner making a straight line run across the 21, but the ball quick free wasn't on, so Killian is going to have his first go of the evening. He's kicking into a slight breeze, but he stops to go back to his brother, and the referee says that didn't travel the necessary distance, and I think that's a small ball. It's a bit of a mistake in calculations. We'll have to get out the referee called it, and possession back to Hollymount and Kevin Costello, who gives it into Robert Malloy, and Robert is travelling into the opposition half with no pressure on him, and he gives a great shot from that distance, and that's a free score almost for Hollymount-Carramore.
Yeah, they let him have it, thinking he wasn't going to shoot, and as Robbie, you're inclined to get anything from Robbie, and you let him have it. He said, okay, I'll pop it over the bar. 2-point
game now. Hollymount-Carramore 2, Balintober 4 points, live from Elverys MacHale Park in the Treanlaur Catering Senior Championship replay. A position in the semi-final Sunday on offer, and both teams will be eager to make that particular game. Dylan hits an early ball into the corner, no pressure on Ray Geraghty. He's given time to turn, and he delivers a high ball in. Under it inside is Conor Finnerty. If it drops short, and that's a goal. No, the referee has his hand up. He said it's a free out. It's a free out. It's no goal. So it's going to be a free out for Hollymount-Carramore, and a collective sigh of relief, I think, from the Hollymount supporters, because it was a high ball in, and the goalkeeper didn't come and deal with it, but the referee blew his whistle and he said it's a free out, and Robert Malloy is past Cillian O'Connor, and as he is about to play the ball, Cillian O'Connor fouled him, so it's going to be a free to Hollymount right in front of the dugouts here in the stand at MacHale Park, and quickly taken by Kevin Fearick. And Hollymount are again hitting an early ball, looking for the runner inside is Pádraig Fearick. He's on the large square if they can find him. Dermot O'Connor isn't around him, but it comes back to Robert Malloy, and they recycle the ball again. Again, both teams trying to create that scoring opportunity, that little yard of space that players can use, and that time the referee says it was over-carried, so good pressure from the backs of Balintober, and the referee says there was a obstruction, so bring it up the distance, and quickly taken into the feet of Alan Dillon, and Alan Dillon is finding a bit more room, and he's able to dictate the play a bit more. Hollymount funnel back in numbers. There's a run being made by Dermot O'Connor. If they can switch the ball at all, he's all on his own, but there's a high ball into the square, and that's gone wide, with Dermot O'Connor must have raced about 40 yards unhindered there, and if they'd switched the ball, there was another scoring opportunity.
He had a run right from his own 45 right down to our own 21. It's obviously they couldn't just pick him. The distance was a bit far away. He had to come right across the field, but I noticed the referee is taking a while for the players to get to used to referee, because sometimes he might pull and sometimes he wouldn't. It's just taking them a while to get there.
Nathan Moore breaks that ball, and it's going to be a free in. He was held back, and Hollymount-Carramore take it quickly, and they're travelling in, and it's Kevin Fearick who gets inside the 21, left footed, and that's over the bar, and a quick score again from a free. Seems to be the theme. If there's a free take, they're looking to take it very quick.
No, there's runners coming from the Hollymount-Carramore forwards, and the guys who are getting the frees are looking up straight away, because obviously you're trying to get the ball in quick before actually get an extra man back. So it seems to be the tactic: get it in quick the very minute you get a free, no matter who's on it.
Coleman shadowed by his opposite number. Pádraig Fearick cuts inside. Alan Dillon is the free man, and Jason Gibbons has continued his run, and it's given to Cillian O'Connor. Couldn't keep hold of it, and Pádraig Fearick makes great recovery from the tackle, and then gets the breaking ball as well, and he gives it to Kevin Costello, who can try and get his team back on the move again. And Pádraig Fearick, who had a one-on-one shot saved in the first game, hopefully would be hopeful to get another opportunity similar, and he can give it away. And this time Niall Walsh is free on the right hand side, holding the wide space is Conor Kane, and it's on his left foot, and Conor was dropped short into the hands of Brendan Walsh. A good few of the crowd and co-commentator beside me thought that was going over the black spot, but it dropped short at the last moment. But again, players like Conor Kane can't be given that much space, and Ray Geraghty makes a slight error of judgment, and the ball has gone out over the sideline, and again quickly taken, again delivered into Darren Cohen. Darren turns into his right foot, and again it's going to drop short into Brendan Walsh. That's two that drop short in the last couple of moments, and these opportunities, when they come, they could add up at the end of the game. So Balintober with Pádraig O'Connor. The shoulder missed by Robert Malloy. It's sold well by Damien Coleman. He gives it to Plunkett, who hits an early ball in, but Kevin Costello, who seems to have dropped back as sweeper in the last few moments.
Dropped right back to the sweeper there. He normally plays that role, and he's very good at that role, because he's quick. He's quick on the feet. He'll get the ball way up the field.
Stephen Cohen, from that turnover ball by the sweeper, has just gone to the right and wide. He seems to be remonstrating with one of his forwards, just to say, give me an option, give me a chance, instead of having to kick it. And this time Conor Finnerty finds himself in the left corner back position for the kick out, and Balintober are playing a two-man full forward line currently, with what looks like Ray Geraghty and Cillian O'Connor. Danny Geraghty, the captain, finds Cillian O'Connor, delivers the diagonal ball into Ray Geraghty, and it comes off Ray and it finds its way into Alan Plunkett, who swings a right boot at it, and that's wide. So a couple of bad wides by both sides there in the last few moments, and with a 1 point game those chances need to be taken.
Yeah, that was a poor wide. You can see the old energy levels are starting to drop a fair bit. I think last Saturday night's game is starting to take its toll already for a lot of guys.
Gone long this time from Niall Campbell. There was a push in the back by Alan Dillon. It's going to be a free for Robert Malloy. Malloy looking to go short to Feerick, but he wasn't quick to it, so they have to change the angle of run. That's a good run into the corner towards Darren Cohen, who again tries to come inside. He's still all the way in. No, he's still going. Nobody's blocked him, and he was allowed to get all the way in from the sideline. Cut across, tried to get onto his favourite left foot, but thought about pulling the trigger for the goal. But there was 3 players on him when he got inside, and that's a separate point.
I thought he'd actually gone a bit too far. Maybe once he should punch it over a bit quicker. But in fairness, he kept the composure. He didn't panic at the last minute. 2 or 3 guys called. He did well to get that ball over between the two of them. So we're level pegging again.
4 points apiece. Diarmuid O'Connor trying to drive Balintober forward, goes out to the far side towards Ray Geraghty, gives it back to Diarmuid O'Connor, who's seen plenty of the ball in the opening 15-16 minutes of this game, and Ray Geraghty is the option again, and the Hollymount blanket has popped back, and they're trying to stop the runners in numbers, but the free man there is Danny Geraghty, the captain for Balintober. If he can shift it right, there's a goal chance here. Shot saved and well done by Pádraig Feerick. Blocked on the line. There was men back saving the line, and you have to say that Pádraig Feerick covered about 30 yards to try and get back in. The goal, the goalkeeper was beaten, but it was a great block by Pádraig Feerick, and the referee is going to have a word with Alan Plunkett. I think Barry Sheridan was looking to take the free quickly. The referee said bring it up, but he still didn't let him take the free. So Alan Plunkett is being spoke to by Liam Devaney, who's going to receive for the game. Pádraig Feerick surely came to their rescue there.
Between the goalie, between Niall and Pádraig Feerick, they did very well to keep that ball out, because when the ball was going down, you could see goal written all over it. But they didn't give up. They kept at it, and just that little break, it could have went anywhere. But as you say, you make them break yourself in football. You got to go for them.
Stephen Cohen finds the ball inside to his brother Darren, and he's going to have a go with his right foot, and he drags that badly wide. We're going to have a look there now at the replay. He came in, the shot was taken. It was a combination of goalkeeper and defender. A fantastic block, a fantastic save, and as we said, it's still a level game, and there was goal opportunities at both ends, and the other, as we said, Hollymount-Carramore created their own opportunity, and unfortunately for them, that ball went wide as well. So the game is really opening up at the moment, with both teams trying to take goal chances and they're trying to make it count. But Balintober cough up possession, and again they have to make the most of that. Cillian O'Connor working hard to win the ball back, and Jason Gibbons is the option, with Pádraig O'Connor coming across to take the ball, and Balintober again start to build, but the injection of pace. He's going to have a go with the right foot, and that's gone to the left and wide again. That's another wide for Balintober.
Yeah, as I said, our energy levels are starting to drop, and you can see guys are taking on daft shots at this stage. There should have a bit more patience required.
Everybody needs to calm down. I think everybody's rushing a bit. We just need to, as I said, the game has opened up quite well. Robert Malloy can't grab that one, and Balintober come on the build again with Pádraig O'Connor. Diarmuid has his captain ahead of him, and he's not being picked up at all at the moment, and he's allowed to kick a ball in, and it's Alan Dillon read the flight of the ball over Kevin Costello, and he has Plunkett outside him, and Alan Dillon is allowed to keep going, and he fists that over the bar at Alan Dillon. That's his 3rd point of the game so far, and showing a bit of cuteness there. Watch the flight of the ball all the way.
Just take your time. They all seem to be rushing, but the older head always seems to have taken more time.
Balintober 5, Hollymount-Carramore 4. We have 19 minutes gone in the first half here at Elverys MacHale Park. Balintober trying to find Dillon again, who's, as we said, has got 3 points to the good already, just can't quite that in, and you have to say there, Aidan, it was the old head was cute.
Oh yeah, he got in there. He wasn't trying anything too fancy. Punched the ball over the bar. Takes two to beat it. He's notched up 3 now already. He's getting on a lot of ball. It's a bit like a replica of the first half of last day. He was on the ball. I think he had 3 or 4 points.
Yeah,
the exact same thing today.
Yep. Alan Dillon showing that sometimes age can be a blessing, as we all think anyway. Stephen Cohen, Robert Malloy, Looking inside again for the willing runner, and that time it's Darren Cohen again, and he fits it over to Malloy. Kept his run going, but that's a hand by Diarmuid O'Connor, just cut it out, and Jason Gibbons can bring Balintober out, and back there helping out is Ray Geraghty. It's been a feature of this half that the defenders are the attackers are having to defend from the front, and if that means you have to track 70 yards, then that's what you have to do. And Diarmuid O'Connor was about to make another gallop forward, but the ball is cut out that time, and Pádraig Fearig gives it ball in. It's delivered really quickly in towards Clifford Connolly, but just can't keep it in. Couldn't quite keep it in. But again, Diarmuid O'Connor is finding acres of space when the ball is transitioned from the Hollymount back. He's finding too much space
between the 20 metres line. He's not getting sucked into play. He's running right on the dark side every side. Defenders are all getting sucked in. Attacks are getting sucked in, but he's coming right up on the line here every time.
Both wing backs hugging the touchlines is a feature of the game so far, and Balintober are able to get forward, and now you have Niall Walsh, the corner back, into the opposition 45. He finds Conor Finnerty, and Finnerty is putting the foot down, and Pádraig is trying to keep holding, but that one dropped short as well, and drops into the hands of Niall Campbell, and that's a feature. It's a feature for both teams that the shots have dropped short. Maybe the tired limbs are starting to tell, but it's still Balintober with a 1 point lead. Just 21 minutes gone, and that's a hit from Alan Dillon on Niall Walsh. Gonna have to see now. It was a big hit. It was a big hit for, and the referee is just going to make sure that he's okay. Came on the blind side. The referee sees it was a collision, so no action taken. Liam Devaney just making sure that he's okay. I'll just show you how Alan Dillon got his first score. 3 already this half, and he's just able to turn on a dime and pop it over the bar, so he's a vital part of their game, and they wouldn't want to lose him to any kind of card. So Hollymount on the attack, quick ball delivered in by Kevin Fearig, and there's a goal opportunity for Darren Cooney. Switches it inside, he's trying to find his up the number, but the ball was very poor there, from Conor Kane. Couldn't quite find the man. It was a fantastic switch from Kevin Fearig, and another goal chance for Hollymount goes big.
Or each time Darren maybe should pop the ball over the bar and came across. It was just too precise in the evening. Maybe he should have taken his point.
Plunkett on the turnover, and that's gone high into the night sky, and the goalkeeper comes out and he's fisted it up in the air, Niall Campbell, and it's a breaking ball, and Pádraig Fearig, who's on a combination of Niall Campbell and himself, stopped the goal for Balintober, managed to get the ball away, and it's Robert Malloy coming across the touchline. Jason Gibbons for company, offloads it to Brian Maloney to Conor Kane, who's yet to get into this game proper, but if you give him that half yard, he's going to have a go, and that's a great block from Brian Murphy, but the breaking ball gets to Stephen Cohen, and he finds this Nathan Moran, and Hollymount again looking to get the ball to the right player, build it and be patient. And Niall Walsh recovered from his knock, gives it to Conor Kane, who's looking over the top. He's trying to find Nathan Moran inside, and he's managed to, and Nathan sells the dummy and left footed, and that's a goal for Hollymount-Carramore. Ball in, Nathan Moran had drifted into the back post, sidestepped the goalie and popped it away. Goal for Hollymount-Carramore.
Actually, he was calling for that ball for about a couple of seconds before. He drifted right back in, and in fairness, they must have sort of worked on that, because Nathan's got on a lot of balls since the start of the half. He drifted right in, the ball right in top. The match-up was all wrong between the cornerback and himself. He went around the goalie well. That's a great goal. For a young guy, he kept the patience.
Kevin Costello on the break, trying to get Hollymount another score, get a bit more breathing space. Nathan Moran again, but that time tackled by Michael Plunkett, and Hollymount are still trying to build. Conor Kane offloads to Stephen Cohen, comes back out to the player in space, and as we said, they're looking for the ball, and there's a switch on here to Robert Malloy, but it finds its way into the hands of Darren. That's a little tackle from Danny Geraghty. Again, saved Balintober another goal. Danny Geraghty cute on there. Darren Conan taking a great ball over the shoulder, and Danny just punched the ball out as he was just about to pull the trigger.
We were off looking in that situation. We need to get our hands on the ball at this moment. Carramore taken over completely. Balintober have lost their shape and everything. Guys who should be up front are now playing back in our full back line. We need to get our shape or this game could be over by half time if we're not careful.
Coming up to 25 minutes gone in the first half here from Elverys MacHale Park. If you want to get in touch with us, get on our Twitter feed at Mayo GAA TV or Facebook, mayogaatv.com. If you're watching from around the world, do let us know. It's going to be a 45 for Balintober, who all of a sudden, from being a point up, find themselves 2 points down, and Cillian O'Connor with a 45 to try and get them back to a 1 point deficit. Diarmuid O'Connor has drifted up again into the left corner forward position if we're looking for anything that may drift. Kicking into the breeze. Cillian strikes it, and that's bounced off the crossbar and over the bar, and a great score. We'll have a quick look at the goal. And he took it very well.
Yeah, he's a very clever footballer. He didn't panic. Just sawed a little bit of a dummy, brought around the goal and slipped into the net. Very good.
Ball won by Hollymount-Carramore, and they're in the ascendancy despite that point by Cillian O'Connor from a 45, and I think Kevin Ferrick thought he might have a go, and he swung his left boot, and the umpire goes round to the white flag, and it was high.
It looked like he pulled the trigger a bit quick on that one.
Mark taken by Danny Gertie, but decides to keep the ball moving to Plunkett. Cuts inside Barry Sheridan, trying to find into corner towards Alan Dillon, and Alan Dillon is being asked to do a lot. He keeps it from going over the end line and just concedes a sideline ball. Hollymount-Carramore 1-5, Balintober 6 points. A dangerous ball, and the goalkeeper's dropped the ball. Cillian O'Connor surrounds him, and he's out of position completely. If Jason Gibbons can find Alan Plunkett, and he gets it into his hands, and it's blocked up well by the Hollymount-Carramore defence. There's 5 defenders trying to stop that from going in, and it's managed to be won back again by Diarmuid O'Connor. Brian Murphy to Conor Finnerty, drops short again, and he's lost the ball, but Cillian O'Connor was coming in, and I think Niall Campbell was keeping his eye on the ball but kept going, and thankfully that time again the Hollymount-Carramore goal is intact, and Robert Malloy is on the counter, flicks the ball up on the right foot. He's inside the 21. He's going to tap that off the post, and that's over the bar from end to end. A goal saved by Niall Campbell to a score at the other end.
Yeah, that's like a 4 point turnaround from as you said, from a goal conceded to a point up.
Diarmuid O'Connor breaks the ball, tries to slide in and win that ball, but Liam Devaney said it's going to be a free rather than a sideline ball. And you have to say it at the moment, as you said, Balintober are well in the ascendancy, 1-6 plays 6.
Yeah, as I said, as you look around the whole field, we seem to be at loggerheads. It's small little things that just not going our way, hop with the ball, hop the right way for Carramore at the moment, not going the right way for us. So we'd have to put a big effort in and hold. You
have to say that Hollymount-Carramore, the game plan that they currently have is working, trying to press the forwards high and try and defend in numbers and break at speed.
And
they're in again. Conor Kane can't quite keep hold of that ball, and Balintober breathe again.
They have the Balintober full back lines, 6 and 7. That high ball in is causing serious trouble in there. The just full back line are not comfortable with coming in on top of them.
Balintober on the attack with Conor Finnerty, who's showing well with the ball and a bit of pace. Pops it to Cillian O'Connor, cuts inside, comes onto his left foot. Cillian O'Connor, if you give Cillian O'Connor too much time, too much space, that's what he's capable of.
Well, this is where Cillian needs to be, because he's killing himself 60 yards, 70 yards from his own goal. I know he's a great team player, but sometimes you have to sacrifice that. You've got to stay close to goal.
Balintober 7 points, Hollymount-Carramore 1-6. Hollymount trying to see out the remainder of this first half. 29 minutes gone in the first half here, live from Elverys MacHale Park. Hollymount-Carramore, if they can go in 2-3 points ahead, you'd have to say the management team will be extremely happy with that.
I'll give them confidence coming out, but as I say, look, at a point or two is not going to make a whole lot of difference, as you see. Look.
Turned over now by combination of Cillian O'Connor and Alan Dillon. He switches the play to Gertie, who let the ball go over his head, and it's gratefully mopped up by Francis Conroy, who finds Stephen Cohen, and Hollymount-Carramore can come on the attack again. Robert Malloy being faced up by Jason Gibbons, but it looked like Darren Cohen lost his footing, and he's remonstrating with the referee that he was fouled, but Liam Devaney, the man in the middle who makes the decision, says play on, and Damien Coleman gives it in to Conor Finnerty, who's held up, and Conor Finnerty seems to be injured, and he's saying that there was a foul by Kevin Costello. It seemed to be just didn't seem to be much in it, but as we said, the referee said there was a free, so Balintober can build again. 30 minutes gone, so we're playing whatever the referee is going to allow, and Conor Finnerty seems to be in a bit of discomfort here down below us in the front of the stand at MacHale Park, and Balintober are trying to get this deficit down. They're currently 2 points down, and they don't want to let that build too much, and Hollymount-Carramore have pulled everybody back into their own half, bar Kevin Fearick, and Brendan Walsh, the Balintober goalie, is currently encamped on his own 21, trying to get his team moving forward, but it's going to be a sideline ball for Balintober on the far side, and it's a noticeable change by Malloy. He was playing midfield, he did drop back and then he switched again.
He seems to switch himself, and Kevin Costello's into switching back, but he's getting up, he's popped over 2 points. He seems to be getting up and down the field a lot, and he's causing a lot of trouble because he's good on the ball, his delivery is good, so he seems to be interchanging himself and Kevin Coss. One is pulling forward, very when Kevin goes forward, he pops back, was giving him more time. He's getting more time on the ball. Himself and Nathan Morden have really came into this game.
The switch between the two, the communication between the two, if one goes forward, one is covering the house, as they say, and that line of Hollymount defence is making it difficult for Balintober currently. Cillian O'Connor getting a score there, but a bit of concern here for Conor Finnerty down below us.
Yeah, Connor's one of those guys, he's prone to picking up some little injuries around his ankles. He's had those for a couple of years. That's why I suppose his career has stopped and started this last couple of years, but I hope he can shake it off, because we're not an abundance of good players in our subs, I'm afraid, so we need to get him back on the field.
Thankfully he's okay to continue, so it's going to give him a reduced ball in hand. Opts to go back to the only man in there inside their own 45, who is Brian Maloney, and the only player inside the Balintober 45 at the moment is the goalkeeper Brendan Walsh. There's no Hollymount player, and Hollymount-Carramore again defending in numbers and looking to break at pace. Jason Gibbons to Cillian O'Connor, who finds himself out around the middle getting ball not where you want him, but inside is Pádraig O'Connor if they want to deliver a ball in. The runner from centre back is Michael Plunkett, and he's going in. He has 3 players coming towards him, and he decides to have a go himself right footed, and that's gone to the left and wide, and there's the half time whistle. 32 and a half minutes played in the first half. Balintober 7 points, Hollymount-Carramore 1-6, and you'd have to say on the evidence Hollymount-Carramore a good value for the lead.
The area, it's a bit like a replica last time insofar as Balintober started very well. They went all on the front half the last day, but Hollymount-Carramore have come into it a lot much earlier this half, and a few guys have made a big difference in this game compared to last year. Jason Gibbons seems to be in as much today as he was the last day, and Nathan Morden, in particular Rob Malloy, have got on an awful lot of ball, and that has given us the advantage actually getting the ball inside.
Plenty of work to do in the Balintober dressing room. Tom Prendergast will have his work cut out at the moment trying to sort out what's going on.
Yeah, I think we need to get on a couple of fresh legs, because we have a couple of guys out there at the moment who are on their last legs, so we need to get on a couple of new guys.
Okay. Alright, we'll hand over to Liam for half time. Liam Horn.
Thanks very much, Tom, and Jackie and Aidan as well for calling what Jimmy Lyons. I think you'd agree. Come down as far as me there. You're gone awful. You're going to Johnny Costello. No, you're gone too far down here. Stand there like a good man. A good game of football.
Yeah, we were wondering beforehand, could it be as good as the last day? And I think it's even better. A lot more goal mouth thrills and spills. The Balintober are defending desperately there at times, but they have been breached. A great Nathan Moran goal, beautiful kick in from Conor Kane, I think it was. Nathan was isolated on the edge of the square. He fielded the ball very well behind his man, so a small bit of a dummy and around the goalie. A very cool finish, and just shows the class of that young man. But Balintober are hanging on in there. It looked early on like Balintober it was going to take the same course as the last day, that Balintober would gradually build up a lead. But the one big difference to the last day is that Hollymount are more in control of their kickouts. They've only lost 2, I think, whereas the last day and the first half they lost 8 or 9. So they look more controlled. they're rampaging forward. Rob Malloy's having a great game. He's got forward for 2 scores. He's a massive influence on the game.
He's a fabulous footballer, Robert Malloy.
Very good footballer. Very controlled. He got through. Very cool when he gets inside a goal.
He's a very high skill level, you see, as well, which people don't often know about a defender like him. He doesn't show it off all the time, but I've seen him do some incredible things for Hollymount, flicks and things like that for Hollymount-Carramore.
Yeah, because you class him as a defender. He's very good defensively. He's very strong, but he's a beautiful kicker of the ball, and he looks up when he's going forward, sees what's on. So all in all, it's delicately poised, but Hollymount had 3 or 4 attempts at goal, which, like I said, Balintober were desperately defending there at times, and that was just after Balintober had a great chance themselves. Their one chance of a goal in that half, where they opened up the Hollymount defence, but a great save by Niall Campbell in goal. He came out on I think it was Jamie Corman was coming through on the far side, and that led then almost immediately to the Hollymount chance the other end, where they missed a chance, and then shortly afterwards they got the goal. So, like I said, thrills and spills.
Jimmy, you're unamalgamating that club on me there. It's Hollymount-Carramore. My God, will you give me a break? I live up around that way. Jackie, you're living.
There'll be a certain JJ Costello having something to say about that as well.
Jackie, you're living on your nerves at times.
At the moment, we're like an old swimmer. We're taking a lot of water, I'm afraid. They're taking a lot of water. They have found a couple of little chinks in our armour, I'm afraid, and we maybe know them there ourselves. Our full back been out, Carl Hannon. He leaves us short of height at the back. We have a lot of guys who are only around 5'7", 5'8", and when you have big guys like Darden in there and they're slipping in Nathan Morton in there, it's made for the perfect long ball in, and they got one in and executed it perfectly. They took the 1 goal chance because they did get. We got one, we didn't take it. We're going to have to change up our game big time, or we're in serious trouble.
What do you have to do, Jackie?
Well, first of all, I said there just before half time there to Tom, we need to get fresh legs in, because we have a couple of guys out there who are struggling big time. We have to get the subs in. Our bench is not the strongest in the world, and everybody thinks around the county knows this at this stage, but we have got to get legs in, because we're not able to get up and down the pitch today like we were the last day. Now, Hollymount-Carramore last, I think you can see with Jason, they're keeping Jason out of the game. Simple little things to get the ball away from him is one thing, and their kicks out, as Jimmy said, are going very good. We're not getting on the ball at all. Breaking ball, Hollymount are up for it well. They're well on top at this moment in time, so we have to get fresh legs. That's basically the main thing we have to get in.
Okay, well on top, as you say, Jackie, but it's only won 6 to 7 points. So Aidan, is there a worry in that?
Not really.
It's 2 up, but it could be more.
It's 2 up, but I suppose if you look at it, both teams had probably 2 or 3 goal chances. We took one, maybe missed one. Balintober probably had 2. One that probably was called as a free out, and the other one, Niall made a great save. So, look, it's 30 minutes over. We wouldn't be saying, yeah, okay, we're halfway home. The score at the end that makes a difference. It's not the score now. Balintober didn't have to go in at that first half thinking we need to change up, we need to pull up our socks, we're out of this competition. Our lads played well. We probably could have got a few more scores on the board and say, look, there's nothing won here yet.
Yeah, recovery from the drawing game, Jimmy, important in such a quick turnaround. Are Hollymount-Carramore fresher?
They look at the moment, but I suppose time will tell, because legs will start to get heavy now as the second half drags on. Like Jackie was saying, it looks like Balintober do need some freshness in there. They're turning over a lot of ball as well, some tired passing at times, and it's a testament to their strength of character, I suppose, that they are hanging on in there. So it's very much all to play for. I'm sure Balintober will have learned a lot from what they've seen, and they will try to rectify where they're taking on water, especially in the full back line, as Jackie noted.
Sorry, Jimmy. What can you do there? I mean, we saw Aidan O'Shea going back there for Mayo. Is there a case for something dramatic?
Well, our fullback Carl Hanlon, I think he may be able to play. Well, time will tell whether he is or not. Danny Geraghty, if you thought that we were going to leave Darren Conan there on his own, maybe you could slip Danny back there, but all of a sudden they'll slip in a smaller guy who's much faster, and then Danny could be taken apart again. Like Danny wouldn't be the paciest guy in the world. If you want to stand shoulder to shoulder, Danny will stay with you all day, but these lads are not doing that, because they're very good ball players, the Hollymount-Carramore lads, very good.
Okay, Aidan, I'm going to get you in to have a look at Nathan Morden's goal, that very important score in the first half, so you better see it there.
The play from further out. Actually, Nathan had drifted right in from the 45-metre line. Yeah, he drifted right in, And as he was getting in, he was calling probably a couple of seconds for that ball delivered. And just Conor Kane just got his head up and he spotted him. He spotted him in there 1-on-1, and the matchups were off because cornerback is probably a couple of inches smaller than him. So he placed the ball. It wasn't that much of a diagonal ball. It was right down on top of him. When he caught that ball, in fairness to him, his finish was excellent. Insofar as if you watch it here, he didn't try to drill it to the goalie. He took the goalie on, and he took the goalie on. I suppose.
We'll go take a quick look at it again. Actually.
Yep.
Just gives a second there. Yeah, Nathan, of course, the Ballintubber Community School All-Ireland winning captain this year.
He played a lot
young player.
Yeah, he played a lot of soccer as well. You can see he has the skill level. Here we have it. Yeah. That's it. He caught this ball. The goalie came to him. He wasn't going drilling right into his chest. He went right around him. It's probably, if you were to look at a replica of last week when Porrick got a goal, he maybe should have went around him. Nathan probably learned from that. Say, look, coming up 1-on-1, goalie coming here, either go right around him or keep the ball low. He actually did both of them. He kept it low and went around him.
Porrick was coming with at more pace.
Yeah, but Porrick was running right on him. Nathan caught it. He timed to steady himself up. He looked to probably seen the goalie coming to him and said, I'm not going to blast you, I'm going to go right around you. It was a very well taken goal for a young player. Like you'd often see older players after he wouldn't be able to execute that is good.
Shades of Porrick Joyce in '98. Jackie, you were a goalkeeper. Come in here to us a second. Yes, you with the finish up corner forward to put you back in goal for the 10 or 15 years. Good Saturday.
Conor Finnerty, and normally Conor Finnerty is not very good when he gets in that situation because he's 2-footed, so you never really know what he's going to do. But I'd say the keeper was fully alert to it. Very good.
Yeah, and that was a big miss for you.
It would have put us maybe up at that, a couple of points or two up at that stage. But the minute we lost possession that time, we went back down the field, and they got their goal back, and it had changed the whole complexion of the game.
Okay, well, that's two of the big moments from the first half. Jimmy Lyons, sometimes these things happen and they kind of pass by, and it's only afterwards when people realise the significance of them. A goal chance taken at one end, not taken at the other end.
Yeah, I suppose the one advantage that Balintober has is that it hasn't happened at the start of the second half or midway through the second half, so they can regroup at half time, and they're only 2 points behind. Killian O'Connor really hasn't started firing on all cylinders yet. He got his first point there near the end of the half. Jeremy is in it in fits and starts, so they have potential for a lot of improvement there. But Hollymount look very focused.
Hollymount-Carramore
look very focused, even more focused together.
Carramore are very focused too. That's the lesson I think what we're hearing here. Aidan, I'm going to bring you in as well. Jackie talked about their bench. What about G? What can you spring?
Well, as Jackie said, it's going to be a night. These guys had a game 4 days ago, and guys in the first half will probably get through it. As you get halfway through the second half, you're going to need getting fresh legs in. Fellas will be getting tired. As I said, the fellas with knocks will still playing out there that have got knocks the last day. We'd have a few guys there. There's actually Dermot Costello will be back. He was missing the last day. He'd be a very good utility player. He could play the cornerback, wing forward. You'd have Damo Kelly, you have Louis Mack, and a few backs. You've probably 2 or 3 in each position to come in. They're going to be needed because legs are going to start. You're going to see legs of fellas actually getting in trouble halfway through the second half here. So we'd have a few guys that probably make a difference both sides. But it's on that middle third of the area. We have no big fetchers, so it's probably right at the defending end and right at the attacking end. In the middle third, we wouldn't have that tall guy to compete in the air with the likes of Nate if we have to bring a guy into midfield.
Well, I'm Shane will lodge or begging though Glick, and you were glicking that first half and how you took Jason Gibbons out of circulation. He was a phenomenon here. A phenomenal presence last Saturday evening. I
think a lot of the kickouts have gone right down top of Nathan Morden, right over on the far side as we look out in the stand here. And I don't know how Balintober. I'm surprised they haven't pushed across on that. And sometimes they've gone short. And they've probably looked at Jason to go back out. They'll get it short then, so that seems to be the tactic. I don't think he hasn't caught nothing in the air today, which was unusual, I thought, for us. So sometimes we're going short, sometimes we're going long, but the difficulty of going short, sometimes you kill it in there on top of you. You make one mistake in there and it's in the net. So
okay, Jackie, in a line, can you do it?
I would hope so. Naturally, I would hope so. I think we.
It's actually a ringing endorsement now, lads, isn't it?
I would hope maybe that we would move Diarmuid O'Connor maybe into midfield. It's time that he was given the responsibility, because I think he operates better when he has responsibility. Maybe he feels he's a little bit the boy maybe still in this team, but we know that he's a man. So I think it's time to give him his head, let him dictate things.
Okay, he's a man at higher levels than D2 with Mayo. Very quickly, Aidan, yes or no?
Yes, I think we can probably scrape over the line by 2 or 3 points in this game.
Jimmy, you'll give the real answer. Who's going to win it? Balintober are back out as well as Hollymount-Carramore.
Have you a fence there, Liam? I think I might sit on it for
Jimmy, it's my job.
Oh, well, you'd have to say that Hollymount-Carramore look like they have the wind in their sails.
Okay, that's enough, Jimmy.
Okay.
We don't need any more. We'll come back to Tom Kearney. Tom Kearney, I'll grab your team sheet. I gave it to somebody a moment ago. Tom Kearney, match commentator, joined by Jackie and Aidan for the second half. Very interesting here at this juncture. Back to Tom.
Thanks, Liam. We're back to Balintober, reliably informed their line out in the same numbers, and it was interesting to note there that the Balintober team went into their dressing room and the management team of Tom Prendergast and his selectors were still on the field for 3 or 4 minutes trying to decide what they're going to do, how they're going to cut this deficit. So we're going to have to see. There's a switch. Nathan Moran has a new man for company. We'll see how he gets on in the next few minutes program. So we're coming up to just 10 to 9 and we're back underway for the second half of this Treanlaur Catering Senior Championship replay. And Balintober get the throw in and they're on the attack straight away, and Diarmuid O'Connor, who we said is switched over to Nathan Moran. I think that's more of an effort to try and push Nathan back with Diarmuid on the attack, and as we said, Nathan Moran trying to cross Diarmuid O'Connor right footed, and almost an opening goal there for Balintober, and you'd have to say that's why Diarmuid O'Connor is put on to try and stifle that attacking intent that Nathan has and to drive him back into his own half, but a fantastic opportunity for Diarmuid O'Connor.
Yes, but I suppose again maybe as the lads keep slagging me with a former goalie, maybe to just at the perfect height for the keeper to save. He didn't have too much to do.
That'll be an interesting battle between Nathan Moran and Diarmuid O'Connor. As we said, it looks like it's a tactic to drive him back.
Yeah, I'd actually put him on the back foot and put him actually running after him. But it should be a great battle because both guys have great engines in them. They can get up and down the field, so it'll be very interesting to see how these guys two pan out. Nathan is probably a little bit younger than Diarmuid. Diarmuid's a bit more experienced, but when you get out and get on the ball, if you get a couple of yards ahead, Nathan won't be waiting for him to come up to catch him.
45 for Balintober. Cillian O'Connor to try and bring it back to a 1-point game in the opening moments of the second half. He's seen one effort go wide already from 45, and that's on its way, and that's over the bar, and we have a 1-point game with 1 minute into the second half, and you'd have to say that Balintober have started with a bit of intent.
Yes, we need to help us settle down a small bit, give us a small little bit of confidence.
Niall Campbell looking for options, and he decides to go long, and the only person at home there is Jason Gibbons, who takes a very easy mark, and Jason takes a quick ball in trying to find Cillian O'Connor. Kind of miscued it. Cillian had to work a little bit to get it, and he has 3 Hollymount players for company, make that 4, which means there's a free man in the pocket, and he's able. That man is Pádraig O'Connor wearing number 30, and he puts that over the bar, and that's 2 quick points for Balintober, and you have to say, Aidan, it's a sign of intent from Balintober.
Yeah, I said it when they went in. They have time to regroup, see what we were doing wrong. Balintober, so they're out now, and it seems to be Jason. Well, I said before he went in, he hadn't caught no ball. First thing after 30 seconds, caught the first ball that came out. Maybe I put the hex on him.
Niall Campbell opts to go long towards Darren Cohen, but he can't keep hold of it. Coming away there is Miles Kelly. He's held up by 4 Hollymount players, and Liam Devaney decides that they were impeding him. Jason Gibbons switches the play to the far side over to Gary Loftus, or to Brian Murphy, who's made a couple of marauding runs, but that's cut out well, but it's coughed up possession easily to Cillian O'Connor. He dinks it inside to Geraghty. Geraghty gives it out to Jason Gibbons. Jason Gibbons right footed, trying to take the lead, but that time it was just to the right and wide. But again, Balintober applying pressure and getting 30 scoring opportunities in the space of a few minutes.
Yes, we seem to have upped the intensity a small little bit. But we talked about the good kicks out in the first ever Hollymount-Carramore, but all of a sudden there's a bit of a malfunction there this last couple of seconds, so small things can go wrong very quick.
Niall Campbell It's along again. Jason Gibbons got a nudge in the back, so it's going to be a free, but a big Danny Geraghty shoulders Darren Cohen off the ball, and Coleman trying to sneak one round the corner, but that's gone over the sideline, so it'll be a sideline ball in front of the stand here. Speaking to the Mayo officials here, 2,000 to 2,500 people on a Wednesday night for a championship replays and the bad attendance in a game. And as we said, it's an interesting game now with Balintober looking to get ahead, but it's going to be brought up to 10 yards, and it's a free for Hollymount-Carramore, and they're trying to get an attack going, the first one of the game, and that's up to Nathan Moran, being shadowed by Dermot O'Connor, and Dermot O'Connor comes away with the ball on that occasion, and he's been held up by Darren Cohen, and Darren Cohen's remonstrating with the referee. Feels that his team is not getting the rub of the green possibly, so it's a free for Balintober in front of the stand here of MacHale Park, and the crowd are roaring him on and trying to influence the referee to say he's taken too long, but Balintober moved the ball on, and it's switched to the far side to Brian Murphy, who's seen a good bit of the ball in the opening 4 minutes of this game. Early ball delivered in, trying to find Cillian O'Connor in the left corner forward position, and he cuts back onto his right hand side, and that's a big hit from Cillian O'Connor, but it's a bit too far and wide. But that's 4 attacks for Balintober, 2 scores from it and 2 wide.
Yeah, I know it's Cillian O'Connor, but there's sometimes when you have to work it around. That was a daft shot, really.
Kevin Ferrick being marshalled by Alan Dillon and getting the free, so it's going to be a free for Hollymount-Carramore, and it's going to be Alan Dillon. Plays it back to Plunkett. Quick ball to Conor Finnerty, who seems to recover from his knock. Off plays it to Ray Geraghty, and Ray Geraghty has gone to the wide again. So from 2 good scores to 3 wides, you have to say Hollymount-Carramore Dyson with a Dyson. There's a Cillian O'Connor. There seems to be a player down on the penalty spot. Let's see what happens. We'll see if we can get it back, but the referee got onto his book. We might see if we can check that on the replay. But Hollymount-Carramore are under a bit of pressure.
Yeah, we're under, since second half started. I think Balintober had about 5 shots, kick 2. We were under pressure on the kick-outs. We're under pressure all over the field here.
As the ball was being kicked out, it seems to be a collision between Cillian O'Connor and a bit of a pushing and shoving. So Barry Sheridan was on the ground, so it's a yellow card for Barry Sheridan, and Barry Sheridan is and there's a substitution on the Balintober team. Cathal Hallen, who couldn't start Sunday due to an injury, has come into the game. We're just going to see who's come off, and coming off there is we'll check Balintober on the attack. Ray Geraghty from corner forward has come off, and a defender, Cathal Hallen, has come on, which might see Dermot O'Connor push further forward, but that ball's over the head and is well held. The captain Danny Geraghty being shadowed by Robert Malloy to Conor Finnerty. Finnerty has a runner, doesn't give it to him, to Miles Kelly. He's still going at Finnerty, he's on his feet, and that's a great score from who took a slight knock in the first half, and you have to say that Balintober, Jimmy Lyons, have been playing very well in the opening stages of this second half.
Over completely. They won the 5 kickouts this half, where they struggled to win kickouts. Hollymount-Carramore's kickouts in the first half. They've taken over completely around the middle of the field. Dermot O'Connor is pushing on. Poor Conor Cillian. Lovely score there by Conor Finnerty.
Hollymount look to go along again, and that's another mark for Jason Gibbons, and possession being kicked away. And that's a cute ball around the corner for Alan Dillon. Alan Dillon is inside. He was sliding as he went down, and it's given back to Cillian O'Connor on his left foot. Saved by Niall Campbell. A great save from Niall Campbell, and you have to say Hollymount-Carramore need to get their kick out sorted. They need to try to make it get in behind.
We need to start even going short again at times, because Balintober actually are crucifying us around that middle third.
Robert Malloy held up, tries to go back and help it in, but the linesman is flagging. It's going to be a sideline ball to Hollymount-Carramore, and as a goalkeeper there, you'd have to say that Cillian O'Connor did his best to hit the target.
He definitely did have, but I think if we look at it again at some stage before the game is out, that I think Alan Dillon definitely deserved a penalty in that particular instance there.
There's a bit of a pushing and shoving, so the referee says it's going to be a hot ball. Going in for the hop is Jason Gibbons and Stephen Cohen, and ball eventually breaks to Killian O'Connor, tries to get away from two players and draws the free. So on the left and the Hollymount defence are backtracking. It's Damien Coleman who switches the play to Alan Dillon, who skims away from two players, and inside is a shot over the bar, and that's a great score for Balintober. Hollymount-Carramore haven't been able to get out of their own half in this opening 9 minutes of the second half, and you'd have to be another free for Balintober, and the Balintober forwards are starting to apply pressure on the Hollymount defenders, and another kick out goes astray, and Jimmy Lyons, that's another turnover ball for Hollymount-Carramore inside their own 45.
Yeah, it's incredible what's happening here. Hollymount-Carramore haven't got the ball up beyond halfway yet in this half. Balintober are playing with renewed fervour all throughout the pitch. Jason Gibbons is lording it now at midfield, where he found it difficult to get into the game in the first half. He's taken over completely there.
The kickouts from Niall Campbell, he's had three Hollymount players to aim at, but the ball seems to be a magnet attracted to Jason Gibbons, as Killian O'Connor just dinks that over the back spot.
Yeah, but it's funny like that when you have the adrenaline going, you're attracted to the ball, and where you go, the ball will be there, and that seems to be happening for Jason Gibbons at the moment.
Coming up to 10 minutes gone in the first half. Balintober 12 points, Hollymount-Carramore 1-6. Substitution on the Hollymount-Carramore team. We have Pádraig Fearick coming over to the sideline, and we have Enda Maloney. So we're withdrawing a defender, bringing on the attacker. So Hollymount-Carramore feel they have to go for it, but Nathan Moran couldn't get the break, so Jason Gibbons has managed to sweep up the ball, and Balintober can build again. Slow, patient build up. They have four orthodox forwards inside the Hollymount-Carramore 45, so they're confident in switching the play. Jimmy O'Connor gives it to Michael Plunkett, and now Damien Coleman, who helped create that goal opportunity, is marauding forward, and Michael Plunkett switches the angle of the play, and there's a Hollymount-Carramore in behind again, and it's Pádraig O'Connor right-footed off the crossbar. At the moment, the Balintober attack is getting through the Hollymount defence, trying to create another opportunity, but it's a free out from Ovakarian, and you have to say at that time that the shot was there, Jimmy Lyons, and the crossbar is still rattling.
Fantastic. Well, it seemed only a matter of time before Balintober hit the net. The brilliant crossfield pass there from Alan Plunkett to let in, I think it was Miles Kelly actually. It was Gary Loftus that was it, yeah. Fantastic shot. He had a man inside. You could say if he punched it inside, it was certain just to walk into the net. But I suppose you can't blame him for having his own shot.
Hollymount-Carramore eventually, with 11 minutes gone, get into the Balintober 45, trying to engineer a score is Conor Kane. He has Robert Malloy available if you can see him on his left hand side, but coming around on the loop is Darren Cohen, trying to get Hollymount-Carramore going, and with a left foot strike that's just gone to the right and wide, and the first attack for Hollymount-Carramore after almost 10 minutes of play in the second half have to be a concern for Tony Duffy.
Yeah, we could have been further down. We're 3 points down, and Balintober have took over totally here in the second half. We need to get the ball up in Balintober half, just for a small little spell, just to take the pressure off our backs.
You'd have to expect most teams will have a patch of 10 minutes, particularly the team that's behind will always come out fighting. If Hollymount-Carramore rather can keep within 2 or 3 and try and get the next score if possible.
It's just about trying to keep in the game now, not let it get run away from us. I mean, we're 3 down, and possibly could be more there just after half time, so we just need to keep our composure, try and get 1 or 2 scores, just get us back into the game, not let it get run away from us.
12 points Balintober, 1-6 to Hollymount-Carramore, just coming up to 13 minutes gone, and there's another ball inside for Conor Finnerty, but that time it's stripped away by Kevin Costello, who's playing that sweeper role as we mentioned from the first half, gives it to Malloy. Hollymount-Carramore need the next score, they need to build something, so that the attack is stopped by Damien Coleman, and it's a yellow card for Killian O'Connor. Killian O'Connor is booked for a yellow card. I didn't see what happened, but He's trying to find out from Liam Devaney. Is that a second yellow for Killian O'Connor? And he's been sent off. Killian O'Connor is talking to Liam Devaney and he's trying to remonstrate, and there's Banistures coming on, so we're going to have to see. Let's go back more. But it looks like the linesman has come on to talk to Liam Devaney. He's coming over to Tony Duffy, to Tom Prendergast, the Balintober manager. Killian O'Connor has been off pitch. Tom Prendergast now something was obviously said to the linesman. So not only have Balintober lost their talisman Killian O'Connor, the manager has been sent to the stand. Go back again, and just looking at the replay there, it seems like there was as Killian O'Connor was coming back to midfield, he seemed to knock the Balintober player, to the Hollymount-Carramore player, and Killian O'Connor is off the field, and Balintober, after being in the ascendancy for the opening 10 minutes of this 10-12 minutes of the second half, find themselves down to 14 men, and Hollymount-Carramore, you have to feel inevitably are going to push forward and try and make use of that extra man.
Yeah, we need to get our scorers in around the scoring line. I think Darren Cole's probably, in my opinion, is playing a bit too far out now. We need to get him in. He's the guy you need to get on the ball 25-30 yards out, not around the halfway line. We've extra man now. We can afford to play a sweep or still push on.
Conor Kane to Darren Cohn. Darren Cohn 45 yards out on the black spot, but he hits that to the left and wide, and Balintober are going to have to alter their plan, and it looks like they've sent a man to warm up, but a bit of a concern now playing against 14 men.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Sometimes being an analyst like this is not a good time to come to a man when your emotions are a bit on edge. I don't know what's going on. Me and this referee would have a row if I was playing, I'd say so.
And that's a free for Balintober, fouled by Kevin Costello. Balintober just want to get the game going quick as possible, and Alan Plunkett on the attack. He is Damien Coleman outside him. He pops it to Alan Dillon, who shoots on the turn over his shoulder, and that's a great score for Alan Dillon, and that's his 4th point of the game. Balintober 13, 1-6, that's 9 points, so it's a 4-point lead for Balintober, and we have coming up to 16 minutes gone in the second half of the Treanlaur Catering Senior Championship replay, live for you on Elverys MacHale Park on Mayo GAA TV. And the crowd a bit stunned by what's happened, so Balintober are still playing the same marauding football, but he says Jason Gibbons double hopped the ball I think that time, and we have a ball delivered quickly into Darren Cohn. Darren Cohn can't get it up the first time or the second time, manages to get it up at the third attempt. He's been challenged hardly, and there's support coming from Kevin Costello. Costello trying to hit one with the outside of his right foot. It's going to drop short. Inside there is Conor Kane. Conor Kane gets inside. His man tries to shoot, and it's going to be a penalty. It's a penalty for Hollymount-Carramore. He gave the shot. We're going to get that on the replay again. It was a high, but I think it was a miss-hit shot from Kevin Costello. He was trying to strike it on the outside of his right foot, and he's actually consulted his umpires. It's not a penalty. It's going to be brought out, and Jimmy Lyons, after consulting
the square, it was a hard call anyway. It looked like the Balintober defender was holding him off legally. Conor Kane was trying to bustle his way in. He got his shot away, didn't get a score, but Balintober will be relieved that it isn't a penalty.
So tap it over the bar for Hollymount-Carramore's first score of the game, as we see from the replay. And we have another substitution on the Balintober team. Coming in is Alan Fahy. Is Stephen Broderick. He's coming off is Alan Plunkett. Balintober 13 points, Hollymount-Carramore 1-7, 18 minutes gone. We have 12 minutes to go in the second half of this semi-final replay. Jeremy O'Connor trying to get the ball, but he's spilled the ball up, and it's going to be a free for Hollymount-Carramore in front of the media tower on the far side. And a nice fresh evening here in Castlebar, and Hollymount-Carramore out of time. Feel that they need to get at least the next couple of scores to take the game close in the last few minutes.
Yeah, if you the difficulty, Balintober leaving one guy up, they're sucking all the players back, and they're going to try and break now from deep, and it's one or two passes. They're very accurate players up there. That simple one or two passes just to get on the end with it.
That's a great run by from a pass by it was Kevin Costello, but it's going to be a free in. As we said, one Balintober forward inside the Hollymount 45. It's a defend and break tactic. When they're playing with a 3-point lead, you can afford to do that, but if this is tapped over, it's still only a 2-point game, and we'll have just over 10 minutes to go.
Well, this game, as we said like last week also, there's never anything between us, only maybe a point, one or the other. This game will go down to the wire again.
Darren Cohen puts it over the black spot for Hollymount-Carramore. 1-8-11 plays Balintober 13, so it's a 2-point game. It's going to be an interesting final 10 minutes. The management of Hollymount-Carramore, Tony Duffy, and his selectors of Pat Walsh, Dermot Saunders and Alan Canny are going to see if they can come up with something that'll help them get a lead. And it's another foul given away by Balintober. It's been a successive sequence of frees for Hollymount-Carramore. Darren Cohen elects to go back, gives it to Brian Maloney, and they're looking to get a space, and there's a runner in if he can find him in the shape of Kevin Costello, but he's over carrying the ball, and it's good defending from Darren Cohen. Brian Maloney is trying to get the ball off him. It's going to be a free in the right corner back position, and the referee is going over to see what was going on. I think he's going to have to it's going to be for Liam Devaney to sort out. It's getting a bit heated there between Nathan Moran and Jeremy O'Connor. Jeremy O'Connor is trying to get Darren Cohen to his feet. Balintober 2 points up. They're just eating into the time, and it's time wasted.
Yeah, we're starting to lose our discipline a small bit. In the last 3 or 4 minutes we've had possession of the ball and we've given it away every time.
Hot ball won by Balintober. It's going to be a free out, and there was a slightly high tackle by the look of it. That's what the referee is calling Stephen Cohen over for. So it's going to be a chat with Stephen Cohen. It's a yellow card for Stephen, and Balintober can get the game back underway. Pop it up to Porrick. O'Connor gives it to Jeremy O'Connor, who gets away from one challenge, tries to get his own ball back, but it's an advantage play. It'll be a free back with the curl from, and it'll be Michael Plunkett bringing Balintober on the attack. Gives it to Jason Gibbons. Gibbons has a free player inside, and it's the corner back again, Brian Murphy, who's seen a fair amount of the ball in this half. Balintober again, as is their style, trying to find the best option, the best player to take the opportunity. Alan Dillon with the ball. He has Coleman on the wing. Jeremy O'Connor comes on the wraparound, and eventually it finds its way to Coleman. Coleman holding it up. Jeremy O'Connor possession. It's frustrating Hollymount at this stage with only 8 minutes to go in the semi-final replay. The prize on offer in a quarter-final replay, a semi-final against Claremorris on Sunday, awaits the winner of this game. And trying to get through the run was Coleman, but the referee deems he was fouled by Nathan Moran, and it's going to be a free about 35 yards from goal, and patient build up again for Jimmy Lyons from Balintober.
Yeah, well, that'll have to be the order of the day now for Balintober until the end of the game. Be patient, don't give away possession. Prior to that, to give away possession twice in the middle of the pitch, which led to 2 frees and scores for Hollymount-Carramore. So, but again, if any team can play this game, it's Balintober. They've been doing it for the last 5 or 6 years, and this is a perfect scenario for them now.
Substitution on the Hollymount-Carramore team that's coming off is number 19 Clifford Kelly, and going on is Damien Kelly is 20 coming off is Clifford Connolly. We can just show you the last point there by Alan Dillon, which made it a 2-point gain. Dillon gets his score. It's just fed in nicely, and the players just create the space. He goes one way, turns, and then over his shoulder, right shot, great finish. And as we said, that's Alan Dillon's 4th score of the game. He's going to take over the free kicking duties as well, as Killian O'Connor is off the field. not a bad backup to have, to be fair. So he has the breeze behind him, which has picked up slightly as the rain starts coming down here at Elverys MacHale Park. You might see it from the pictures on your screen, and that's over the black spot. That's the 5th score for Alan Dillon. We make it of the day, and it's 14 points Balintober, 1-8 Hollymount-Carramore. Just over 6.5 minutes, and the conditions are going to make it difficult, and the crowd are putting pressure on Niall Campbell to go, and he goes long, and that's well taken by Kevin Costello, and Kevin Costello is driving into the Balintober half, hits a diagonal ball trying to find Darren Cohen inside, but slightly off target, and Brian Maloney sweeps it up and gives it to his captain Danny Geraghty, and Geraghty is able to get the ball to Stephen Broderick, who couldn't get position in his hand. It's just a bit slippy, and as we said, the rain starting to come down here at Elverys MacHale Park. And we just want to say hello to Sarah McEvely and Anthony McRae, who got in contact with us via the Twitter at Mayo GAA TV, and also to Joe Henley watching us here. You can catch the semi-finals live on MayoGATV.com on Sunday, live from Elverys MacHale Park. The senior semi-finals and the intermediate semi-finals are on Saturday, and Jimmy O'Connor is driving into the Hollymount-Carramore half. That's a well taken by Conor Finnerty. He's trying to get himself a bit of space. He has a go, and it's tipped over the bar. It was a bit of a awkward one for the goalkeeper. He was trying to stop it from going over, but it came off the crossbar and eventually went over.
One of the things you don't like, if you try and catch it, you can fall into the net, and probably safe enough to get it over the bar, because you can fall into the net with him. Just popped right on top of him.
4-point lead at this stage for Balintober. Hollymount need to get try and get a goal at least in the next few minutes.
I think we need to get the ball in the hand now, because we've been kicking it down top in Balintober, just popping the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys back. So we need to keep it in hand rather than maybe drive it down, because they've all circled right around the D. You're going to have to drop those goals in here.
Ball trying to find the inside, but Jeremy O'Connor has gone back a sweeper. Kevin Costello couldn't win that ball, but at the moment the entire Balintober team are inside their own 45. The player forward at the moment has just drifted out is actually Brian Maloney, who's the corner back. There's not another Balintober player there. The only one is actually injured. It could be Conor Finnerty, who's injured again in his own half here. So Balintober playing keep ball, trying to wind down the clock. As we said, they have a 4-point lead at the moment. It's going to be a free over on the far side, and it's Liam Devaney is calling over Stephen Cohen, who gets a second yellow card. Stephen Cohen now is sent off for Hollymount-Carramore. Both teams now are down to 14 men, and Hollymount-Carramore have just over 3 minutes they have to do. Stephen Cohen, who's got a second yellow. There's going to be a substitution as well, because it looks like there's a serious injury to one of the Balintober players here. Conor Finnerty has been helped out. Looking at a bit of support. I can't see what happened.
We didn't at all. No, I didn't see anything in it.
Jimmy, did you spot anything there?
I don't think he's been involved in the action since the last point, unless he hurt it. He turned sharply to get onto his right foot, but it looks like his
it looks like his shoulder, is it, or they're not entirely sure. He seems to be pain, yeah, definitely. Just show you the last point there from Darren Cohen, who's applause there. He looks in a lot of pain. Not entirely sure what happened, but there was a substitution while that was taking place.
It's Barry Sheridan has gone to the line, while Stephen Cohen is still on.
It was Stephen Cohen who was it wasn't Stephen Cohen, so it was Barry Sheridan. Apologies. So both teams now 14 men. We have coming up to 28 minutes gone, and we have whatever the referee is going to allow for stoppages, and there's been a fair few of those. So Hollymount-Carramore are still in this. They still have a chance to do something. Stephen Finnerty, who's come on for Conor Finnerty. It's going to be a free for Hollymount-Carramore.
Stephen Finnerty
for Conor, yeah. And that's a change, just a forward for like change. Hollymount-Carramore, less than 2 minutes plus whatever the referee is going to allow for stoppages. We need to get at least a goal to try and take this game forward, and that's a kicked away possession, but wasn't kept well by Balintober. So it's Hollymount-Carramore at the second attempt. The referee has his arm up, he's bringing it up. It was a free, he played the advantage, so it's going to be brought in for another kick opportunity. And you think this one has to go in around the house possibly?
What's left? About 3 minutes? 2 minutes, yeah. Need a goal.
Going to have to be a goal. The referee is bringing it up to 29 minutes, and down below us Conor Finnerty has actually got onto a trolley, and he's been assisted by the St John's ambulance. He looks in some amount of pain. I think he seems to be holding his shoulder. Looks like a shoulder injury. Darren Cohn has this free for Hollymount-Carramore. 29 minutes gone in the quarter-final replay, and that's kicked over the bar. It's going to be 1-9, 1-15, and Hollymount-Carramore need possession of this from the kick-out, and as we said, they need to get a goal to tie the game.
Yeah, we need to get a goal to tie the game. Balintober are probably going to defend with all their might here. There's one man right up, only one man past the halfway line.
Possession won by Jason Gibbons, delivered quickly upside. It's going to be one out in front by Stephen Finnerty. Stephen Finnerty has a runner, and Plunkett to Alan Dillon, and Alan Dillon is cutting inside if he can get a two-score in, but he slips it into Plunkett over the far side. It's going to be a goal opportunity, and overcarried the ball, so they cough up possession, and there was a goal opportunity. Somebody should have taken responsibility and possibly took it over the bar, but unfortunately that time Hollymount-Carramore live again, and we're waiting to find out how much extra time there's going to be, and that's another foul going to be playing on. Well, Hollymount-Carramore drive forward. Stephen Cohen, diagonal pass, trying to find Darren, but it's swept up by the 7 defenders for Balintober, who are back trying to protect their goal. 15 points, plays 1-9. Just over 30 minutes gone. As we said, we're waiting to find out how long the extra time is. I haven't seen it on the screen, so it's whatever the referee allows. There has to be at least, I'd say, 2 to 3 minutes of extra time.
At least 3, I'd say, between the sentence off and there was a couple of injuries.
So there's plenty of time for Hollymount-Carramore to try and engineer a goal, but they need possession of the ball. They need to turn over possession as fast as possible with the clock running out. Hollymount-Carramore are pressing high, and they're hunting down in 2s and 3s, trying to win the ball back, and that's a dangerous pass there, but Enda Maloney can't intercept it from Damien Coleman, and Balintober now are on the counter-attack, and they have a 3-on-2 if they can work it well, and Alan Dillon has his arm up in the centre looking for the ball. He gets to Alan Dillon, he swings his right foot, and that's over the bar, and that's 2 points. 2 scores now needed by Hollymount-Carramore. I have to say that with the clock running out, Hollymount-Carramore
is running out. Balintober all filtering back again,
and the possession is kicked away from the goal kick, and unfortunately for Hollymount-Carramore, Jimmy Lyons, as a few of the spectators leave, it's 2 scores in it.
Well, it looks like the heads are gone down now. Robert Malloy, who had a fantastic first half, wasn't able to keep that ball under control, so I'd say Balintober will see it out now.
Dermot O'Connor from the sideline ball, that's the insurance point there for Balintober. You have to feel 17 points Balintober, 1-9 Hollymount-Carramore, calling them up to 32 minutes gone in the second half. 2 goals is what Hollymount-Carramore need at this stage, and you'd have to say that the way that Balintober are doing it, they're doing it well. That's a great mark taken by Dermot Costello, who doesn't know when he's beaten and he's trying to get his team going, and that's turned well by Darren Cohen. Darren Cohen, he gets inside the 21, hand pass inside, right foot Nathan Moore, and blocked, and they try and get it back. Darren Cohen trying to get the team going again, but it's turned over and well defended by Damien Coleman, who chips it out by Brian Maloney, who's played very well in the second half, and that could be Hollymount-Carramore's chance gone. A great opportunity, but blocked unfortunately from Nathan. He couldn't get the second goal.
He could get the defender played well. He drove him right across to his right foot. So I think it's not looking good from this stage.
Damien Coleman from the far side raises his arm and to signal that it's over the bar, and Hollymount-Carramore find themselves 18 points, plays 1-9. It's a 6-point game, and Jimmy Lyons on the counter-attack. Balintober have been clinical.
They have, yeah, and you wouldn't expect anything less than that from them. The players like Alan Dillon, who has played a real leader's role here in the second half, looking to get on the ball, and director of operations from half forward. He's playing across the half forward line there.
Dermot O'Connor gets the kick out on the far side, and you'd have to say that they're on the attack again, and coming on the ball is Stephen Broderick, and they have players over again, and that player over was Plunkett, but he couldn't keep it in. And again, Hollymount-Carramore are driving forward. Kevin Costello to Conor Kane trying to maybe get a goal and try and see if they can make it interesting. He drops it in high towards Nathan Moran, but back there to sweep up is Danny Geraghty, the captain, leading by example. And Balintober come away with the ball to Alan Dillon looking up, and there's only one man inside to hit, so they're going to keep the ball. As we say, it's 34 minutes gone now, and as we say that, the referee blows the final whistle. Balintober 18 points, Hollymount-Carramore won 9. Balintober now go forward to play Claremorris in the Senior Championship Treanlaur Catering semi-final, and that game you can see live as a double header here on Sunday, as Hollymount-Carramore bow out of this year's championship and have given it all in 2 games. And well done to Hollymount-Carramore and their players for the way they've played, but in the end Balintober were just too clinical. As we hand over to Liam Horn.
Thank you, Tom. As we watch the players shake hands, it was one heck of a battle, it has to be said. I'm going to call in Jimmy Lyons first of all, before letting him go off to gather his thoughts with the full analysis. Thanks to Louise Nihanacon for her kind words about MayoGATV.com, and we have Jimmy here beside me now. Jimmy, at half time we wondered about Balintober. You did issue the caveat though that if any team could, it might be them.
Yeah, well, they answered all the questions there in the second half. You had a team there who've been thereabouts, winning county championships in finals, semi-finals for the last 6 or 7 years. The other team, their first semi-final in over 25 years. So when the pressure came on, the team with the experience came to the fore, and their key players, Jim O'Connor, Alan Dillon, Killian before he was sent off, Jason Gibbons. You could go through them all, and one player in particular that I must mention there is Gary Walsh, who had Gary Loftus, who had a torrid time in the first half, and you saw in the second half he rolled his sleeves up, and nothing was going to pass in the second half. He even got forward to hit the crossbar. So that was symptomatic of the whole Balintober team. They just went up 1 or 2 gears, the whole lot of them, and for the first 10 minutes of the second half they just overran Hollymount-Carramore completely. They won the first.
Different level entirely. Wasn't it?
Absolutely. It's just like they said, look, we're Balintober, we know who we're capable of, let's go out here and do it. And they took over. They played with purpose, with drive, and with precision. They're used to the ball. They're passing some beautiful cross-field passes. Their support play. What we've come to admire in this Balintober team, and you would have thought that maybe they were into a little bit of a hiatus or maybe slipping down, but the evidence of that second half, they're going to have a very big part to play in the destination of the senior championship this year. Yeah.
No, I know the time is tight. They're here again next Sunday, but as Mayo showed earlier on the year, sometimes games, and a game like tonight where they had their pulse checked well last Saturday night and came back tonight and said we're still alive, it could be a very timely boost for Balintober.
Absolutely, like there's so many parallels with what happened with Mayo during the summer. You know, they were tested there. There were questions asked of them. Are we up for this again, lads? And they showed that they are. So that will carry them forward. They would be at a bit of a disadvantage, you would think, from a physical point of view. They'll be playing their third game in 8 days next Sunday. But to counter that, they have the experience of coming through a contest like that, and that was a real contest. Hollymount-Carramore asked serious questions about them, and they answered them.
Okay, Jackie, I know you were worried, you by your facial expression even during the first half, but they came very good in the second half.
I suppose it shows the character of this particular team that even me was starting to write them off a small little bit, but the huge intensity levels that they came into in the second half, that was really got it up to it. Every one of them, right from Gary at the back, Gary Loftus, right through the whole field, right up to number 15. They worked and they ran and they harried. The amount of turnovers we got, like we're talking to Jimmy there, like that Carramore in the first half couldn't lose the ball no matter where they kicked it into Carramore, man, and all of a sudden for the next 50 minutes they couldn't get their hands on the ball. Even though the keeper seemed to have a bit of a meltdown, he kept kicking them out to Jason. Small little things that just can, in the blink of an eye, the whole game can change. It looked like us at half time that we were really struggling. totally new team in the second half. Great from a Balintober point of view to see the enthusiasm that they still had with a minute or two to go, mad to get on the ball. That shows that the character, there's no question about her character being flawed in any way. We're on to Claremore the next day. They need to get a good rest, but then that Jimmy was saying there, like the Mayo team, all the games they had during the year. Well, if we weren't playing at the weekend, we'd be training again, running our socks off. So it's better to have a game and a good pitch. We'd be training back in Muck and Balintober at the moment on a good pitch. So that's what we all love to play, not train, love to play. So they're out again next Sunday. Get their heads right.
That'll be interesting. Claremore's having come through the Brafey challenge in one of the quarter-finals. Aidan, I suppose you flew close to the sun in the first half. It looked like you had to measure them for quite a while, but in the second half they found a whole other gear.
We went in half-time 2 points up, and it did look well. We played well in the first half, had a few goal chances they had, but that the score doesn't lie at the end of the match. They scored 18 points tonight, 17 last night. They had a turnaround there from a 2 point down to win 4 points up, 6 points in the space of 10 minutes within the start of the second half. They just controlled the total game, and the experience shone through there. The likes of Alan Dillon and Dermot Gibbons, Jason Gibbons, all over the field. We couldn't get the ball out of our half there for about 10 minutes. So the experience told our team, a young team, inexperienced, after coming out of intermediate 2 years ago, got into an Ireland final. People don't say, oh yeah, well, it's a step up to do it week in, week out. And this Balintober team have been doing that for 4 or 5 years, so they could go into the memory bank and say, look, we're in a dogfight here. How do we get ourselves out? They could go back into the memory bank and say, okay, that was there. We've been here before. We know how to win games and tight games. Our lads, in fairness, that they don't have that experience built up into their brains and into their legs. It's going to take another while to get up that level. But we're not that far off when you go through where the teams are, considering where we came from. So add another player or two into that team, we won't be far off the next year or two.
Yeah, and you have built, as you said, you were intermediate finalists a few years ago. You've built on it. You have become a significant side in Mayo senior football.
Well, if you look 2 or 3 years ago,
Balintober getting clapped off in the warm down, yeah.
We couldn't get out of an intermediate group, so we got from a stage not getting out of intermediate, go on to contest our Ireland final intermediate. So you have a big gap there between playing intermediate and then going senior. It takes a couple of years just to get into that mode of playing that level. We've been playing senior football in league this last 2 or 3 years, so you'd need probably another year or two to get that sort of memory built into your legs and into your head, and how to play games of this magnitude. You can see Alan Dillon there. People say Alan Dillon was 34. He controlled that game in the second half. He kicked 5 points from play, kicked a free, he tapped over the free from 35 yards out. It was like he was out in the back of the garden kicking the ball. So experience like that, you can't buy it.
Yeah. Okay, well, Aidan, thank you very much for joining us the last 2 weeks. We'll let you take your leave.
Yeah,
maybe next year.
Maybe next year, yeah. We'll be back again. I wish Jackie all the best in the next round. In fairness, tonight they have all the armour to win it, just as they can, if they can get the rest in the next few days. They have the experience, and as I say, I wish them all the best in the semi-final.
Thanks, Aidan. And Jackie, thank you for joining us as well. We'll hopefully see you here again Sunday for the 3 in a row. Have you got image rights, Jackie?
I have my dinner before I come in, Liam, because this is long. This is long for an owl buck. Long days. 2 guys coming up here, Jason Gibbons and Killian. Excellent.
Thank you. Jimmy's going away with us. Yeah, Jason, how are you? We're not going to let you stand up on the high steps, so come in here beside me, and Killian O'Connor as well too. Jason, that was a bit more like it, I suppose, particularly in the second half.
Yeah, I think we let ourselves down the first half again today, but second half I think we lifted our performance a lot. We pushed on when it really mattered, and we created scoring chances. A few of the boys, carried us through, and we're delighted to be in a semi-final.
What's the kind of a game you needed, perhaps, just to really get you really into it? Because you weren't at your best last Saturday. Although you played some very good football, you weren't at your best in the first half. But today you really found the groove that has made you multiple champions.
Yeah, I think we haven't performed really at all in the group stages. Maybe Harmore we did well, but I think we let ourselves down. The Balintober against Claremore, and even the last Saturday we didn't perform. We went 4 or 5 up. We didn't kick on, So against Hollymount, in fairness to them, they come on a lot, and even the league we played them, we were under pressure. And again, even today, I wouldn't say we had it nailed down to the final whistle win. So, in fairness to them, they kind of put it up to us, but we drove on and we're delighted.
very happy to keep the ball away from you in the first half as well. They were aiming kickouts everywhere where you weren't, and where Nathan Moran was.
Yeah, look, they have options, you know. Nathan, again, he's a big fielder there. Even Stevie Cohen and a few of the lads, you know, they were able to catch ball. I suppose they had their plan done, but we kind of changed around again in the second half, and you know, we set up a bit differently, and I think it worked out for us. So we called the kickouts in the middle, and we kind of drove on. So.
Okay, Jason, thank you very much for joining us.
Cheers, Dean. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I see Killian there as well too. We'll bring in Killian O'Connor. I'm sure, first of all, Killian, you're happy with that?
Yeah, happy with the result. Suppose it wasn't pretty there at times, you know that. But just looking at the score, 18-19. As long as we're through. No, it's not. As long as we're through, I suppose we're happy.
You had a very good purple patch early in the second half, particularly.
Yeah, probably weren't happy with how we played in the first half, and luckily enough got the couple of scores at the start of the second half to settle us, and kind of pushed on from there.
So I have to ask you weren't happy coming off. There's some talk of mistaken identity. Was that your view of it?
I'm not too sure. I suppose you have to ask the ref. I'm not certain, but that was his call, and that's final.
Which will be good for Saturday or for Sunday against Claremorris?
Oh yeah, ready to go. I got a bit of a break there, so fresh.
Okay, Killian, thank you very much.
Thanks, Liam.
Okay, cheers. That's Killian O'Connor, Mayo senior football captain, and a man who seems to be around forever. One of those players who has such experience built up at still a relatively young age. I think that's all of our guests. We're going to bring back in Tom Carney just quickly before I let you go, Tom. Balintober put the pedal to the metal in the second half, and we're just that bit better.
Yeah, we were just discussing it there. The experience that this team has, you know, they've won 3 titles in the last few years. They've got quality players, they've got inter-county players. To be fair to Hollymount-Carramore, they're a young team. Stephen Cohen, Nathan Moran, there's a good minor structure there as well. They've only come out of intermediate, as Aidan mentioned, but you have to say Balintober, with their quality, their experience, they just grounded out, and playing counter-attack football suited them. They could work the ball well. Alan Dillon took some great scores this evening. You know, he stepped up when Killian was sent off. But overall, you'd have to say it sets up a nice semi-final now on Sunday, which is live again on MayoGATV.com against Claremorris. So we could have to play another South Mayo opponent. South Mayo football seems to be coming to the fore at the moment with Gary Moore and Claremorris. Unfortunately, Hollymount couldn't make it this evening, but it sets up 2 good semi-finals. Gary Moore against Castlebar and Balintober against Hollymount. How much the 2 games now against Hollymount will take out of them will be interesting to see, given the physicality and the style of play that Claremorris have.
Another man gone unamalgamating a club on me.
Hollymount-Carramore, sorry, apologies. We're going to start that problem.
Okay, I'm in the clear, lads, anyway. Jimmy, let's look forward a bit. With 4 teams left now, we know the identity of the semi-finals of the weekend. You've Gary Moore, the perennial survivors, Day Senior, coming out of the group every now and then, getting to a quarter-final, semi-final this year. Castlebar Mitchells. Let's talk the last few weeks, they may have been in a small bit of a decline, but maybe now's the time to come. They've been a good Knockmore team whose form was good. Yeah, and 2 other teams as well, obviously Balintober and Claremorris. So what way do you see it right now?
Yeah, well, I suppose the easy reading of it is that it's set up for a Balintober Castlebar final, obviously, and both teams are coming good now at this latter end of the championship. Castlebar had been going through a sort of period where you'd wonder where they're beginning to slip, but Knockmore was a big test. Knockmore, top Division 1, and have had a very good year, have been thereabouts the last couple of years. That was a test for Castlebar, and that would have brought them on no more than Balintober. If they had any doubts about whether they really wanted it, they've answered it to themselves more than anything else there tonight.
They know the significance of that victory tonight very much.
They will. They'll know that they've answered a big question about their hunger. Because for all the Balintober have been thereabouts for the last few years, there'll be still questions about their legacy. You know, they haven't won a Connacht, for instance. I know that's been looking a bit further forward, but it could be an opportunity for them to drive on and put that on their trophy list. As for the other teams, Claremorris and Gary Moore, it's a fantastic achievement for Claremorris to get to a semi-final. Nobody would have said that this time last week. Never mind 6 months ago that Claremorris would have been in a county semi-final. So they're a young team. They won the 121 3 years ago when they were quite young at that stage. They were not that team minors. So they have a lot of players around 20, 21, 22. It's going to be a big ask for them, but it'll be a fantastic experience. They won't fear Balintober in the sense that, you know, they're used to winning things at underage. They're a mobile team. they'll be well set up by their management. So they'll be challenged from a physical point of view, but from a pace and drive and determination, they won't lack for that. So it'll be interesting to see how they do against the litmus test of Balintober.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting Sunday here. Anyway, next weekend, one of the, I suppose, Mayo getting the All-Ireland final delays the championship, but then you're into this almost festival of football then, and thankfully, even though we had some rain tonight, it was still quite a nice night for football.
It proved to be perfect night actually, but the rain held off. The pitch was a little bit greasy, but I don't think it was as greasy as it was on Saturday evening, so it held up better. The ball was holding up better, it made it easier for lads to pick out their passes. But another superb game of football from the very start. We wondered, could they keep up the same level, and they did. There was no I suppose the last 10 minutes the game took on a different sort of texture altogether because of the two men being sent off and Balintober having that lead, which they're past masters at holding on to. You know, when Balintober first made their breakthrough, it was based mainly on a very tight defensive system, which is there in their memory, but they've added year upon year, they've added some lustre to their forward play, and they got some fantastic scores there tonight. The combination play, the cross-field passes to pick out men. It was great to watch.
Okay, Jimmy, thank you for being our analyst. I hope you enjoyed your debut.
I did, yeah. It was an interesting experience. It's a bit like a match, or anything can happen. So you have
that all over, is it? Better watch the video back, like a match.
Thanks, Liam.
Okay, Jimmy Lyons there, of course, managed Carramore to the last two Mayo Under-21 titles, and do follow us, of course, on Facebook and Twitter, and you can check out the games. They'll be on archive as well. Hope we'll archive later on this evening. We're never quite sure when the archive is going to happen. It's a bit one of the technological issues that sometimes baffles us, but hopefully we're on top of it tonight. But if not tonight, at some stage in the next 24 or so hours, and if you bought a ticket for it already, you can watch that game again on the archive. So the victors tonight, Balintober beating Hollymount-Carramore with a powerful second half display. It was put up to them in the first half by a Hollymount-Carramore team growing in stature, growing in self-belief. But as we've said already on a number of occasions here, Balintober went to a different level in the second half. They found a new gear and were victorious very comfortably in the end, or reasonably comfortably in the end. And Hollymount-Carramore's education continues, but they're a good side at senior level here in Mayo. Our next action here on MayoGAATV.com is on Saturday. We decamp to James Stephens Park in Ballina for the intermediate doubleheader, the semi-finals there. We have Louisburg, Moy Davits, Island Eddy and Kilchmott there in those ones on Saturday. The first game is 2:45 and that is Louisburg versus Kilchmott. The second one is at 4:30, that's Island Eddy versus Moy Davits. And on Sunday then we're back here for the senior championship semi-final doubleheader. Castlebar Mitchells, the champions, will take on Gary Moore, and tonight's winners, Balintober, will take on surprise packets, as we've been calling them for the last few days, Claremorris in the second semi-final. My thanks to our team tonight, to Brendan Dowd, to Conor Dowd, to Desi Campbell, our director, to Paula Ballester Murat, our social media and IT person, to Tom Carney, our match commentator, to Jimmy Lyons, our match analyst, to our co-commentators, Jackie Heenan from Balintober and Aidan Campbell from Hollymount-Carramore. Liam Henley was involved remotely as well on the social media side of things, and Damien Brennan, a Milltown club footballer, currently trying to avoid a relegation battle in the league in Galway, was joining us as well tonight too, helping out. So I hope I haven't forgotten anybody, and with that, all the credits of course to everybody here tonight. So that's it from MayoGAATV.com. Thank you, and we'll see you soon.